Well, congratulations. How are you feeling after a win like that?
Oh man, it feels great. I've worked so hard for this fight and for so long, and it feels great to be back in the win column.
Does it feel a little bit better knowing that it was a hard fought win, that you kind of had to prove yourself and show your grit, show your talent?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this fight went a little tougher than I expected it to, but my hats off to him. He did a great job, and he was trying to knock my fucking head off in that first round, and I knew he was gonna gas out, but I just stayed composed and used my veteran skills.
What was different about him than when you were actually in there? Or was it more about you?
Um, I guess I was trying to figure him out. I did like when the fight first started. I did feel he was a lot faster than I expected him to be, and he was just swinging wild punches. I'm not used to that. At this level in the game, I'm not used to like a street fight. So it took me a while to adjust, and I was confident going into the second round that he was going to slow down, and I'd be able to like see his shots come in, and sure enough, as the fight went on, I was able to see all his shots coming. He did manage to like sneak a couple in, but like hit me in the eye a couple times, and I should just kind of blurred my vision a little bit at first.
When they were reading the scores, were you confident that you had done enough?
Yeah, I feel like going into the third round, it was definitely 1-1 because of my slow start in the first. But I think the third round definitely, I had a little bit of wall control, and I did have a takedown, and kind of I felt like secured the round. And I feel like, when the bell rang, I was confident that I won the fight.
I know before this fight there were some life and training changes. Can you tell us a little bit about that and the decision to make those changes?
Yeah, I mean, I was training out here in Vegas my whole like past fight camp, like the last 6 months, and after my last fight, I got homesick. I'm from LA. I got a family and kids and a wife back home that need me at home. And I try to sacrifice the time that it takes, to be at the highest level. But me winning here just shows that family is more important than everything. So.
And what's next for you? When would you like to get back in there?
So I hear that the UFC is coming to Los Angeles in January, and me being the LA hometown boy, I feel like it's only right that they put me on the card. So please, UFC, put me on in LA.
Do you have an opponent you'd like to fight?
I don't care. They know it. They know I don't say no. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I know you want to go back home. I mean, you wanted to be closer to family because it's got to be tough. And in this time away, was that, I guess, a little bit of a blessing that you were actually were you able to focus on home more?
Yeah, it's it added so much more to like there's a little bit of beauty in all the hardness of all what it takes to be here, to get here, and a good support system is the most important. You gotta it can't just be all work. You gotta have the right balance, especially in life, in order for things to just flow.
How frustrating, or is it hard to not focus on when people start saying, "Oh, well, he hasn't had a win since 2022"? Are there ever times where it gets frustrating and hard? Do you ever question yourself, like whether you fit here and whether you are good enough to be here? Do those
No,
challenges ever come in your head?
No, man, the fight game is a very unforgiving sport. You could, before those losses, I was ranked number 13 in the world, and even after one of the losses, I was still ranked number 14. And people will ride you off, but the good thing about MMA is that it's not like boxing. You take 3 losses in boxing, they're like you're done. In MMA, like even though I lost my last fight, I feel like I gained more fan recognition off of that loss. And sometimes in MMA, like you could lose but still win at the same time. And I feel like, it's just learning experiences really for me is all it is.
And then I guess last one for this, when you actually have some challenges out there and you're able to overcome, do you like those, and do you feel like those are the kind of fights that endear you to fans more so?
Yeah, I knew that it was going into the second round. I knew I was down in the first because I couldn't figure him out. He's landing more strikes, and so it does give me a sense of urgency going into the second and third round. That knowing I'm down one, so it definitely intensifies my fight style.
Great win tonight. D-Rod is back. A little bit of what you touched on with Kenny. We saw him use those leg kicks, probably studied that Ian Gary fight you had, and we're like, oh, we're going to open up this way. But you for sure made those adjustments, checking those leg kicks, hitting him with the angles, and kind of just coming over the top with that jab. What was the talk like in between those rounds to make those reads?
Yeah, well, I was touching him a lot to the body, but I wasn't following up top. So that was due to he had like this weird check hook that just kept catching me like every time I would go in at the body, and he was throwing with a lot of power. So definitely made me a lot weary of the situation. But you know, going into the third round, you know, my coaches is telling me like, you know, just put more volume on him and start swinging with so much power, but and to believe in my strikes. So you know, I just that's the thing that I love about the Apex. It's just so small. You can hear the coaching, and it couldn't have been any better.
Yes, sir. And we've always seen that condition be there, but it really showed up tonight, and it really like made a difference in that third round, because that's where you really like took over. We saw like the back and forth, probably 1-1, yada yada, but in that third round, you were able to like keep that pressure coming, and were willing to engage. Besides that pressure that you applied, were you surprised that there wasn't more takedowns coming from your opponent tonight?
I didn't expect him to shoot for takedowns. I would imagine he would have tried to do some wall work, maybe try to, you know, snap me down into a guillotine or something like that. But you know, I never really watched much tape on him. My coaching staff did, and you know, I just believe in them and what they had, you know, and how the training went. And I didn't think he would shoot for a takedown. I didn't know I would go for a takedown, but you know, that's just how the fight game is, you know.
For sure, man. Besides that January card in California, and you know, coming back ASAP, building off this win, what would you like 2025 to be like for D-Rod?
Man, you know, I'm a veteran in the UFC now. I just want to keep fighting. I want to fight the most. I want to, you know, I'm getting a little bit older in the game, and I just want to fight and make money, man. You know.
Yes, sir. And last but not least, your favorite was in town. I saw you walk out to that California Love. Can we say that's gonna be your signature song, that you're gonna kind of inherit that from the California kid?
Man, only if I could get his blessing. You know what I mean? But I've been, you know, I've been walking out to it for a little bit, you know. But you know, we're bringing the song back, you know.
For sure, my man. How far did the Dodgers get in this playoffs?
Man, we taking it all the way. Dodgers in 4. Let's go.
Right on, man. Congrats on the win, sir.
Thank you.